We'll need to do an intro for this, by the way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Have some sort of intro. I don't know how to. I've been thinking about this. I don't know how to intro this.
No, I don't know either.
Without sounding really, really fake.
Yep, that's
it. Maybe this is our intro. Have you seen Wonder Woman yet?
I have not.
You have to see Wonder Woman.
Why do I have to see Wonder Woman?
Because it's fantastic.
I have no interest in Wonder Woman. I don't really care. She has a shield and a lasso and a sword.
No. She's much more than that. She's everything the Superman movie should have been. She is. It is a fantastic, fantastic film, and I'll tell you why. It's actually said. This is going to sound really, really weird coming from me, but it's a fantastic film because it's not in any way scandalous. No, scandalous isn't the word. What's the word I'm looking for here, Chris?
I have no idea.
It's not filthy. It's not dirty. It doesn't linger on Gal Gadot at all. There's no scantily clad shots. There's no lingering on the butt like there's with Black Widow and the Avengers. Now, I don't want to complain too much about that because it's some of my favorite scenes. But there is something about sitting down and seeing just Wonder Woman, who's a character that I obviously like, all the way back from the Linda Carter years, but being able to sit down and not just having her beauty or her figure thrust in your face.
Yeah, her ass and her boobs and whatever. Yeah. Especially given how little she's wearing.
Yeah, indeed, and you never really think about it that way. Throughout the entire film, you never really think about it that way. You never think about how little she's wearing, and it is poked fun at how little she's wearing compared to World War I times, the early 1900s.
Yeah.
But obviously these days, having been out in town in Aberdeen, she's actually overdressed for most.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to see a film where you sit down and you don't come out of it going, saying something along the lines of, "Well, that was a good female superhero movie." It's not. It's just a damn good superhero movie. And the only humor around sexuality is it's kind of making fun of men, but not in that kind of we're trying to redress the balance type thing here, where we make fun of men in the sex way. It's just a clash of worlds that's quite funny. Chris Pine's in it as the male lead, if you want to put it that way, and he's a good character as well. He's not dumb. He's a smart character. He's worldly. He's brave. He's got flaws, etc., etc., etc.
Does he still come across as William Shatner?
No, he doesn't actually. He does come across as somebody who actually is from that time period. Now, I've never thought of him being that great an actor, so maybe he's a time traveler. But he does come across as somebody who's from that kind of time period. He's got that look, the hair, that face. He has the square-jawed American hero thing going on, as well as Chris Evans ever has. But no, just the way it's done, it's just done brilliantly. And it's so entertaining. And when that Wonder Woman music hits halfway through and she goes full Wonder Woman, it's like the hairs on your arms just stand up. It's
what brilliant. Wonder Woman music hits? Not the 70s theme.
No, you saw Batman v Superman, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So when Wonder Woman appears at the end of that, not Diana Prince, when she's decked out as Wonder Woman, and you've got the guitar synth type of awesome rendition of it there, but you've got that kind of big blasting music as she appears on the screen, and Doomsday's firing laser beams out of his ass or whatever it is that he's firing, and she stops it with the shield, and you've got that synth music playing, and it's just a really powerful kind of superhero theme.
Was it not a riff on the 70s stuff?
It is a riff on the 70s stuff, but it's better. And when that hits, she's going full Wonder Woman, and there's going to be some bodies flying about. And
I can't honestly say that I can remember the synth music.
You'll know it if you hear it. It's quite powerful. But it does kind of bring me on to the whole... that's why I was thinking about the critics thing, especially Rotten Tomatoes. Tomatoes. I don't know what you call it. Is it Rotten Tomatoes or tomatoes?
Well, I would say tomatoes, with us being in Britain, but you did live in the States for how long? 3
years.
3 years, really?
I still talk about elevators.
Oh, good. Now we're swearing, are we? Oh, my goodness. Right, that's fine. That's the kid audience gone already. Oh.
Let's reverse here. Take the swear words out. Blooming elevators.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, I know you're not going to. But I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score for Wonder Woman. It's at 92%. Now, Rotten Tomatoes is now the go-to place for people to know whether a movie's any good or not. The flaw in it is not that it's 92% out of 100 in terms of quality. It's got 92% of the reviews are positive. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But Rotten Tomatoes is now the go-to place. It's like, how good is a film on Rotten Tomatoes? Now, I'm cheating, and I'm expecting that you're not cheating here. So if I was to ask you for, just a handful, or even 2 or 3 of your top 10 films, what would you give me?
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Not in the top 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, as I scroll through Rotten Tomatoes, I don't think it's even in the top 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
So is the problem that it's all modern stuff?
No, the problem isn't it's all modern stuff. Give me another one.
Okay, I'm going to cheat. This is not one of my favourite movies, but let's say Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane is number 2.
There you go.
Well, it's number 2 with 100%. Number 1 has 99%, but it's got 40 more reviews.
Yeah.
So therefore, the adjusted score, as they call it, means it's a higher thing. So number 1 is The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Number 2 is Citizen Kane. Number 3 is The Third Man. Now, in theory, you couldn't really argue with any of those films being excellent movies.
I wouldn't know. Although I think I've seen Wizard of Oz, yes, but Wizard of Oz is of its time.
It is, but it does stand up to a certain extent. I've got to say, it does. It really does.
To a certain extent. But everything about it. I mean, even just the way that Judy Garland talks is of its time.
Oh yeah, very much.
Tried to release that movie now, it would be a person talking now. If you tried to make her talk like Judy Garland, everybody would be like, "What is wrong with her?" Yeah,
you'd have the Cash Me Outside Girl on it, wouldn't you?
Mm.
Do you know the Cash Me Outside Girl?
Not a Scooby.
Right, that's one for Google for you. Citizen Kane is one of my favourite films. I love Citizen Kane. The Third Man is also one of my favourite films. Both of those films hold up very, very well these days, although, again, there are certain aspects of them that are of their time, but Third Man's brilliant. Now, number 4, I haven't seen it yet. I've heard wonderful things. It's a recent kind of horror comedy-ish film called Get Out.
Oh, I've not seen that. It's very recent, isn't it?
Number 4. Yeah, that's a couple of months old.
Yeah,
that is number 4.
Yeah, there's no way that you can take that as a list of best movies of all time.
Well, again, it's got 99% out of 270 reviews.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yes, it is. But is this a problem with critics?
Well, no.
Or is this a problem with Rotten Tomatoes just using a numerical algorithm, a fairly simple to understand numerical algorithm, not easy to say, but simple enough to understand, algorithm to define how it ranks its movies?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. Rotten Tomatoes algorithm, I think, and the way that Rotten Tomatoes is now used, I think it's highlighted a bigger problem with film critics, because there does seem to be a massive gulf between film critics and audience members.
But who does Rotten Tomatoes, if we're going to use that as the example, who do they take their scores from?
So they take their scores from, I won't be 100% right here. It is trusted movie review sources. So it's not, if I set up a blog, I don't think I would be on that.
Not initially, but presumably at some point you might.
If I got enough readers and viewers and all that kind of stuff. Well, if it was a vlog rather than a blog.
So then it's popularity.
It is a little bit, but it does take from newspaper critics and people like that. So when they post their reviews online, I'm guessing there is a balance there. I'm not sure if Ain't It Cool, for example, shows up on Rotten Tomatoes weighted much. But again, the number 5 film on Rotten Tomatoes, 100 best movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The number 5 film is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Now, I love that film. I think it's great, but it wouldn't make my top 10. It probably wouldn't even make my top 50.
No.
But again, it's weighted. It's got a lot of views. It's at 97%. It comes in above The Godfather, which is a bit crazy, to be honest. But I mean, there does seem to be this big difference between what critics like and what audience members like.
But then, something that you originally said is also something I challenge, because I don't know how much I reflect an average moviegoer. I don't think I'm that far outside of the norm. I mean, okay, I read Empire, but ultimately, there are movies I like and movies I don't. I'm not particularly pretentious in my movie going, I think, but I think maybe in a handful of times I've gone to Rotten Tomatoes. I see the Rotten Tomatoes score listed, but I just don't pay any attention to it.
Okay. So, yep, I get that, but you pay attention to Empire.
I do, yes.
Yeah. So Empire gave Baywatch 1 star. 1 star out of 5.
Yes.
Now, I went to see Baywatch on Thursday. I can't jump hugely to its defense in terms of, it being a great movie.
Yeah.
1 star out of 5 is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous.
Brutal.
It's brutal.
Yes.
And I laughed quite a lot through that film. And I can understand it's dumb as shit.
Were you supposed to?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
It's not as clever or entertaining as 21 Jump Street, but that really was the.
I haven't seen yet.
You haven't seen 21 Jump Street?
Nope.
My love for Channing Tatum takes me there.
Okay.
The Rock takes me to Baywatch, and now I have some love for Zac Efron as well.
Okay.
Thanks to Baywatch, I now have my new best expression that I can use at work, at home, or anywhere else when somebody says something I'm not interested in. I can just turn around and say, "And no fucks were given."
Yep.
Thank you, Baywatch. But Empire gave it 1 star. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 19%. Right? Out of their simple reviews, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is people who have been to see it, is 64%. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge disparity.
It is.
The Mummy, which I haven't seen, and I have no desire to. I think the trailer looks crap for the most part. 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, 44% audience score. Again, there is a real big difference between what the critics like and what the audience seem to like.
Yes, but then your critics are always going to break down a film by its constituent parts.
Indeed, but should they?
I think they should. I think that's what the purpose is.
Is it? These days, is that their purpose?
Well, no critic is ever telling you whether to watch the film or not.
No, but bad early word of mouth through things like Rotten Tomatoes is linked to bad performance at the box office.
Yeah, no, there's still certainly influence.
Box office openings. I mean, I remember when Batman v Superman came out, and also Suicide Squad. Neither of which are fantastic films, by the way. Although I enjoyed them both. Again, they'd be lucky if they made my top 200 favorite films.
Yes.
But they were all right. But they got slammed, and the early. And they made a lot of money.
Yes.
Nowhere near as much as expected. And part of that, I think, comes down to Rotten Tomatoes scores coming out and them being low and people staying away. And part of it comes down to Zack Snyder fucking things up.
It's hard to say how much real influence the scores are having. But I don't disagree with the point that I certainly hear what you're saying, that the numbers are going to have an effect on it, and that all Rotten Tomatoes is doing essentially is applying an algorithm to the scores essentially that it gets from a variety of its own chosen sources. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, you've got nowhere else. Basically, the critics are providing a more experienced than you, I, over the technical aspects of the film. They're not saying whether you can enjoy it or not, but they are saying in so much as any of this can be objective, they are saying that the acting in this film is rubbish. The acting in this film is subpar. The writing in this film is subpar, and you can use that should you choose to. If the thing that you like about movies is good acting, then you probably shouldn't go and see a film where the acting's rubbish.
Sorry, but that wipes out a lot of films in the world.
It does. It absolutely does. But again, I mean,
by the Star Wars 1 to 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Yeah. In which case, right? So the acting's rubbish. So what else is it that you like about a film? What else will make it good? The only thing they've got going for them is special effects and story. Frankly.
Yeah. So maybe the issue isn't that the critics are a pile of crap, which some of them are, because some of the critical reviews, as I say, Empire's 1-star, Baywatch stands out majorly.
Is that what this is about? Are you just pissed with Empire for giving Baywatch 1 star?
I'm scared of The Rock, and if I don't stand up for him,
I don't know. I think he can stand up for himself. He's a big lad.
He is, but when he smiles, it's just too kind inside.
I see. Mm-hmm.
He needs someone to protect him.
Right.
And maybe oil his back every now and again.
Yeah, I thought it was going to come to this somewhere.
Yeah. You know my opinion. Wrestlers make movies better. With one exception, The River of Darkness, Kurt Angle, that was awful, and you should hang your head in shame. So maybe it's the issue with how the scores are used. Because on Rotten Tomatoes, you have the tomato meter, which is the critics, and as I say, I'm sitting with Resident Evil Final Chapter in front of me. It says 30 fresh and 55 rotten, which gives it a 35% rotten score, weighted just by those two numbers. But what it doesn't tell you in there is that 30 fresh, that could have been 35-star reviews.
Yes.
And 55 2 or 3-star reviews.
Yes.
However, audience score. Now, maybe this is where it's going wrong. Maybe they're pushing out the wrong number. Because they're Rotten Tomatoes, they want the critics score. Maybe they should be pushing out the audience score. And if you want to know what the critics like about it, then you go and look at it further. Because you can usually trust the audience more than you can trust the critics.
See, I don't know that I can.
I said usually because 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades of Dark.
This is the thing. People are always going to have different interests. I am not going to judge people for having interests, even the people that went to see 50 Shades of Grey. Fine, okay. If that's your thing, if your kink is being tied up with a tie and lightly spanked, and you think that's a tremendous kink, go nuts. Fine, great, happy days.
These days, why do you need that? Why do you need that in a movie?
To be honest, that's pretty hard to find.
What,
something that light, it's pretty hard to find.
Oh, right. Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, properly manacled and genuinely punished and made to piss in a bucket in a dark room and stuff. That you find tons of that, but most a little light spanking. I don't know. Well, this is going into a place, isn't it?
It is very fast. Right, so critics, you like them, and I think they're a pile of tosh.
I don't. I'm not saying necessarily I like them. I could take or leave them, but I think I read some Empire yesterday, and thought to myself at the time, okay, if
Sorry, can I interrupt 1 second,
please?
Other movie magazines are available.
Of course, yes. It's the thing, whatever. We're not.
Other shitty critic websites are available. It's not.
What are you gonna say that you wouldn't shill Empire for good things? I'm not. I am available to be bought for Empire. Anybody else? Total Film. I'll read you if you want me to plug you.
Oh God, no! Total Film is awful.
I'll
still out there.
I have no idea, but for coin, I'll do most anything. So I have no problem with this at all.
Everyone's a critic, even me.
I have no morals whatsoever as far as this is concerned. You want to send me free stuff? Send me free stuff. But yes, I was reading some of Empire yesterday, and if film critics didn't exist, who would write well about films?
Me. But then I'd be a film critic.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Whoever does it's going to be a film critic. I just feel there is a disconnect at the moment between
critics and audiences. Yes, I don't think that's new, though, is it?
It's maybe because there's a larger prevalence of critics now. The internet has created superstardom for people who 10 years ago would have been lucky if they could lick the window at the back of a bus. Yeah. And how
has it done this? What have they now done to become superstars?
Mostly they just go online and speak shit
and do podcasts and stuff.
Usually better ones than this, I'm assuming.
Just biting the hand that feeds you and all that.
Yeah. I've never claimed to be smart.
No, exactly. No, and again, I'd say, if anybody... So, yeah, that's neither here nor there. Let's do that.
No.
But, yes. I can take them or leave them. As I say, I enjoy reading. I enjoy a well-written article about anything, really. Anything I'm interested in, for sure. Films are something I'm interested in, so therefore I enjoy reading well-written articles about films. And I think, as you say yourself, I think if there was no such thing as a film critic, there would be no such thing as writing well-written films.
Indeed.
So,
I guess I just maybe it's Rotten Tomatoes has spoiled it for me. As I was with you, I was a big Empire fan. I used to very rarely disagree with Empire. I knew that if a film was 3 stars or better, I would enjoy it to a certain extent.
But even then, I mean, a 4-star film can be like art house thing. Somebody just staring at a poop on a table for 3 hours. I have no interest in that at all. But I'll get that from the Empire Review. It's like, this does not sound like the kind of film I'm interested in. For all that I can, it's being rated on its technical qualities, it's a marvelous cinematographical goal. Easy for me to say again. Yeah. I swear to God, I'm sober. I swear to God. That's all very well and good, but there's enough information in there in the article usually for me to decide that this is not my kind of film.
Yes. Usually I can tell from the title. If it's called Je suis poop on table, then it's definitely...
Yeah, but they could call it something like, 16. And you just don't have a clue. It's like, 16 what? Huh? What? It's because it's 16 hours long.
I'll watch it.
What's that, sorry?
If it's got candles after I watch it, I like 16 candles.
But what if it's a film called 16 and it's art house and it's basically Triple H sitting looking at a poop
Wrestlers
for 4 hours?
Better. We don't need to keep going over this. Wrestlers make films better.
I'm still not sure it's a film for me. Not sure.
Triple H looking at his own poop or somebody else's? I
don't think it matters to me. I don't want to say I'm not. If we go into it being Stephanie's poop, then there's a whole thing opens up there, and I don't think we go around that.
That goes back to the internet, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does indeed.
Okay. Let's move on from this one then.
Okay.
Very quickly. Reboots and remakes and sequels. Because this week they've announced that they're going full steam ahead on Top Gun 2, and also they're going to reboot the Cannonball Run, which is 2 bits of news that I just didn't want to hear.
Cannonball Run I can take or leave. Top Gun 2 is at least intriguing.
But we talked to films that were of their time. Top Gun was so of its time. And one of the best things about it was the absolute head in the sand homoeroticism of the whole thing. And I don't think they had a clue that they were doing it when they made it.
I don't disagree with you. And I know you're. I know
that's part of its charm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
And you take that out of it. Is the original film that good? You take out that kind of, you can ride my wing anytime, playing with the boys, oiled up volleyball, stuffing a goose, whatever you want to do.
You can ride my wing anytime? Really?
That's one of the lines at the end.
No, it's not. Sure. You can be my wingman anytime, is what it is. Like,
the
homoeroticism. Yeah, the homoeroticism has been inserted there by you.
I don't think I inserted that volleyball scene. I think that actually existed.
No, you didn't. But
I mean,
I think that I have an issue. I have an issue with the homoeroticism thing in Top Gun. And yes, I think if you look at it with a particular mindset, yes, that's what it is, homoeroticism. But it was a different time. As you say, it wasn't done deliberately. And I think it's one of these things. It's become cool to say that that's a homoerotic thing. I don't think it deserves that tag at all. I mean, if it's happy to have the tag, great, fine. But I think it gets tagged with that because it's easy to tag it with that.
Well,
you can say the same thing about
a lot of Hammer films.
Well, to move away from film. It wasn't an argument, but I had a disagreement with somebody some years ago now about the fact that there's an awful lot of 80s music when you look back on it now looks very homoerotic. What was the example?
Music videos, maybe.
No, it wasn't even that. It was. I'm sure it was a Duran Duran song.
Her name was Rio, and she dances on the sand. I probably
No,
wrong. And you
no,
can
nothing like that.
anytime.
What is the song? You'll know it. I mean, the lyrics to the song are. You read it now, and you're like, aha. Then that was one thing. Now it would just have a different spin.
Yeah, and that's one, and that you kind of got my point for me, because if you take that out of Top Gun, if you take some of that out, and that's some of the fun bits, you take that fun out, what do you replace it with now? Because generally, I don't think that film would be as good if you remade it now and were self-conscious about the homoeroticism.
No, I don't disagree with that, but I think it's not homoeroticism. I think the homoeroticism is like literally the bit on the beach, which is like, it's maybe 90 seconds of film. I don't think you can label the film based on that, but
it leaves a big impression, though, doesn't it?
Maybe it does, and certain people more than others. But I don't disagree with the point. Just the specifics. I think you're right, but I think that film was essentially airplane porn.
Very much so.
If you have no interest in watching jets fly through the sky, and yes, the puffed up 80s chest bumping, testosterone fueled nonsense that was an action movie then.
One of the best soundtracks that's ever been.
And yes, absolutely, the soundtrack as well. If you take that away from it, yes, I completely agree. I don't think the film would stand up to a modern audience.
So do we need a Top Gun 2?
I don't know. I'm interested to see what they would do with the characters. I'm interested to see where they would face that, because you're going to have to make it a modern movie, so that the situation in the world is markedly different than it was then, I think.
So it's. I mean, do you make it great? Do you make it the Saving Private Ryan of Air
Well,
Force?
I don't know. I mean, if when do they set it? If they set Top Gun 2 now, what's it going to be? A bunch of guys flying drones?
Quite probably. I mean, that's the whole story, how the drones are taking over the Air Force, and Maverick has to save the day once again. I don't know. But that's the thing. Maverick, you go back and look at that character, how's he aged? He was an arrogant twat back then.
He absolutely was, yeah.
He was pure arrogance.
Yep.
And, he was a very unlikable guy, apart from he flashed a smile. I mean,
yes.
he had Tom Cruise's smile, did Maverick.
Yes.
And that was a big bonus for him.
Yeah, the only redeeming thing about that character is, I mean, literally, he was an asshole. He was proven to be an asshole. He got his friend killed, and then instead of going into a spiral of despair, pulled himself out of it, and then came back and saved the day at the end. And then he can be Iceman's wingman anytime. Bullshit, Iceman can be his or something. That's what it is. That's that film in a nutshell. There's just nothing to it.
Yeah, but it's one of the most entertaining films you see, and that's why I'm not interested in a sequel. And I'm
also not, this conversation is not particularly enthusing me to watch it again, which is fairly unusual in films.
But yeah, I mean, there are films which end, which I want to see what happens to the characters. You mentioned Shawshank Redemption. I would love to see just a snapshot of what happens to them on the beach over the years and them living their life out. Not like a full movie, but I'm interested in what happened to the characters after that point, because they've been through so much. The Terminator, that one's always intrigued me, and many, many other people. What the hell would have happened had he killed Sarah Connor in the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And then he has to get a job and cut his grass and all that kind of stuff. But they kind of covered that with Terminator Genesis, when Pops, as they called him then, they travelled in the future and they found out that he'd been working somewhere and blah, 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 and got a job and,
that's
to the
right.
audience, nudge, nudge, and all that kind of stuff. But Top Gun is not a film where the characters scream to me, I want to find out what happened. I find out what happened. Tom Cruise went off to Scientology. Val Kilmer went off every rail ever invented. You kind of look at it and you go, what do I care about those characters at all? I don't.
Yeah, it's the thing. I'm not.
And I have no interest in what happens.
Yes, but there's two different things there again as well. There's wanting there to be a sequel so that you can find out what happened to it, and then there's when a sequel's announced, being interested in. Okay, I'll be interested to see what would do that. And this is the latter for me. There's no circumstances I would have asked for a Top Gun sequel.
What about Cannonball Run remake?
I'm not sure. I don't particularly remember Cannonball Run.
Yeah, I do. I used to watch that. It was on TV all the time. It was one of those films that was on TV. And when you watch it, you just got, or when I watched it, I just got the sense that they had so much fun doing it. It looked like something that they really enjoyed, possibly because the outtakes at the end were were as good as the film itself. When I first heard they were remaking Cannonball Run, my first opinion was, oh crap, do we really need to? Because I really enjoyed that film. And then I thought about it, and I thought, well, they kind of already made it with Rat Race, which had Rowan Atkinson in it, and John Cleese was in it as well. And they were given, get from here to there and you'll get a prize type thing. And it was all wacky, and it wasn't quite an all-star cast, but, it was familiar faces. And I look at it and I go, if they get the right cast for Cannonball Run, it could be like the comedy equivalent of The Expendables. You could get some of the comedy names that you really want to see. Mike Myers, Will Ferrell. Who else is good comedians these days?
I'm just reeling from the fact you said Mike Myers.
Not the Halloween guy, the Austin Powers guy.
No, even then, I mean, it's like, who are the good comedians these days? Mike Myers, really? Okay, is he still alive?
I think he is. He went underground after Cat in the Hat, didn't he? But yeah, Mike Myers, Will Ferrell, and some other good comedy actors that I'm sure are out.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, you'd want to see him, wouldn't you?
He makes everything better, doesn't he?
He does. He does make everything better.
He should have been a wrestler.
He's one of these guys as well. He's reached that point in his life and his career. You're like, we're not going to have him forever.
No.
Let's get the good of him while he's here.
You know what I love about Bill Murray, and I hope this is true. I read this a couple of years ago, is that he doesn't have an agent. He doesn't work, or maybe he does, but his scripts don't go through an agent. Nobody knows where he lives. Nobody's got his phone number. There's a P.O. box. And Bill Murray every so often goes along to the P.O. box, and there'll be scripts in there and all that kind of stuff, and he'll pull them out and he'll just pick out something that's interesting to him. Yeah. And that's how he chooses his movies. I love that. I think that's
it's nice.
I wish there was more eccentric people like that.
Yes.
So going back to comedy actors, Tom Hanks. Let's put Tom Hanks in there as well. Mel Gibson.
This is shaping up to be a very expensive movie.
Actually, Jim Carrey, because he's not done much recently either.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it would be. I think it's the kind of project where people would come together.
It might be.
Take some back end, make a decent movie, and take something off the back end, so that when it makes money, you get paid then. Mm-hmm. It's got a fun concept. Cannonball Run's got a fun concept. It can't be quite as tawdry as it was in the 80s version, or sexist or anything like that. Well, it could be. It just probably would do very well. But yeah, I think it's got the potential of being something really quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
George Clooney. I'd like to see George Clooney in that, actually.
George Clooney does funny stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
Yeah, he works. I was about to say, when you said Clooney, I'd say, yeah, Brad Pitt as well. They work well together in comedy roles, slightly more comedic roles.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck then. Mm-hmm. It's two guys driving a car.
It's truly the most expensive film ever, isn't it?
Ryan Reynolds. How could I miss Ryan Reynolds?
Indeed.
Actually, I don't want him in a Cannonball Run movie, because he needs to just be in movies where he is the ultimate star and the focal point of everything. I mean, I know he wasn't Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple of films on my Netflix list of serious films that he's done, which I'm yet to watch, because they're serious Ryan Reynolds films, and I'm not sure whether I like serious Ryan Reynolds or not.
What is it called? Is it called The Arrangement or something? The one he's in with Sandra Bullock?
Oh, yeah.
You could just leave that one.
Oh, no, but he's naked in it.
It's rubbish.
I liked it. I mean, it was rubbish.
It was.
There's a distinction here. And for anybody who doesn't know me, who's listening, because this is supposed to be a podcast thing, not just two fat gingers having a conversation. For people listening, there are two things you need to know about me. One is I like a lot of shit films. And the second one is I recognize when a shit film isn't very good, but I like it. There's a difference between me saying I like a film and it's a good film. If I say it's a good film, I think I'm 80 to 90% on there, and most people will agree with me. If I say I like it, there's a good chance that 80 to 90% won't like it. Did you know that Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbits, in the 96th best comedy, according to Rotten Tomatoes? And just aside there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wow. I mean, what?
Yeah. The top 10, if you look at the top 10 comedies on Rotten, you definitely fall out with the website there, because it's ridiculous. Toy Story 3's in there. Zootopia's in there. I mean, seriously? Yeah. But I'm with you on the IMDb thing. The first thing you see is the star rating. The star rating cannot be trusted. And if ever proof of that was needed, Attack of the Herbals is 3.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and it is a far better film than that.
It's got 3.5 out of 10, though.
343 reviews as well. I mean, I didn't even know 343 people saw that.
No, I find that quite remarkable.
Critic reviews. Actually, I think that's probably not the most unfair rating of the film.
Maybe not.
Probably better than I expected. Again, that film is primed for a reboot. David Keith, if you're listening, you did this already and you said no, but
you're available
for a reboot. I am available to both write and have a cameo again.
Ace.
Handsome guy in background, number 7 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Number 7. Don't put yourself down, Alistair. You'd be top 3.
That doesn't say a lot for the rest of the cast, really, does it? Again, it was an amateur film made with the goodwill of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, people can slate it for the acting and the writing and the directing all they want, but, it was, for what it was quite a success.
Yeah. Well, presumably it was a fun experience to have in the making of it.
It was fun. It was fun writing, and I think a lot of folk enjoyed making it.
Yeah.
I live near Johnshaven, where some of the filming was done, and we had friends over who were staying in a hotel in Johnshaven, and we went down and they were asking folk, "Were you in Attack of the Herbals?" And they're like, "No, but it was this and it was that," and they were down here. So it created quite a buzz. And I'm not sure if anyone in Johnshaven has actually seen it or not, but they know
it was made there, so that's something.
They know it was made there. I'm waiting for them to put a plaque up to commemorate it. I think that's important.
I think it's rude of them not to.
I think it is as well, but I'm not willing to buy that plaque for them to put up.